We welcome nurse practitioner at the Barnard Medical Center, Gretchen Housel, back to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
I want to get your insight as the mom in the family.
Sure.
Because, guys, we have our own take on things. But the mom, you guys really run the show. Guys will tell you this. This is just the fact. The mom
I
runs
do
the
most
house.
of the cooking, correct?
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. So how is that? I mean, you have children and there are outside influences, but mom has, mom's got the grand say here. So, I mean, what is the diet like at your household there?
Well, so I have a 2-year-old son,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm raising him to be plant-based as well. So I make all of his meals. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I send him with some food to go to his nanny's house during the day. And so I just pack him, some pretty basic staples, beans, greens, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, that sort of thing. So he does really well, and he's a healthy, happy little guy who's developing just fine.
So he hasn't had the taste yet for, anything meat or dairy or anything like that. Are you concerned as a parent that at some point that might get introduced out of the house?
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad you're talking about this on the show today, because it's a question that I think that's the biggest problem for people following a plant-based diet is all the social pressures.
Right.
And children themselves have a whole another layer of challenges. So there have definitely been times when we are at a party and there's a spread of appetizers, and there's chips and salsa and the strawberries and things that he will eat, but then there's also shrimp. And so what do you do? And every parent is going to be different, because when you have a 2-year-old standing there hungry,
right,
and he wants to eat what everybody else is eating, what do you do?
Well, let me stop you there. I'm assuming this was not a child's birthday party that had shrimp. I've been to many children's birthday parties growing up. Okay, I was about to say, I was like, wait, what? A cake and ice cream I get, but shrimp? Like, no way. So I know he's 2 years old now, and I think that you have a little bit better handle on things. Have you thought about how you're going to kind of coach him up as he gets older and goes off to school, where they have school lunches and definitely will have more peer pressure there?
Yeah, I think when he gets older, it's going to have to come from inside him. I can't police him all the time, and I can't tell him to say yes to this and no to that. So, I'm going to tell him why I eat the way that I do and why we eat the way that we do, and whether or not he takes that when he goes to the school cafeteria. That will be up to him, and I'll just do my best to encourage him.
Let me ask you this kind of fun question. I remember watching a sitcom back in the day, and there was one character on there who was, thinking back, 20 years ahead of her time as far as, wanting to raise her kid on a vegan diet. But at that point, she was kind of chastised for this cake that she was making. I can't remember if it was like a carrot cake or an applesauce cake or whatever it was. Her father was like, none of the kids are going to eat this. It's going to, taste like garbage. He tastes it, and he's like, oh, this is the worst thing ever. Obviously it's TV. I didn't taste the cake. I don't know if she's a good cook or not. But, my question is, from a parent standpoint, are you worried that maybe he might get teased a little bit? I know that that's kind of like a harsh question, but...
he could. And I think I will just prepare him with the knowledge and the information for how to respond to that. But if he does get teased, and he gets teased into eating pizza, and he has pizza, I'm okay with that. And I think that, just as I've had a gradual progression of my diet into what it is today, and I think it will continue to change, I expect the same thing for him as well, especially across the developmental stages.
Yeah, very few people, I believe, are, born into the plant-based diet. It is that progression. Everybody kind of has... Well, the majority of people kind of have that aha moment, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm actually kind of glad to hear that you're not overly concerned about slip-ups, and you're just going to kind of...
Maybe it's just my style of parenting.
Well, no, it's, it's unfortunate if it happens, I think, but at the same time, we're talking about realistic here,
Absolutely.
Realistic expectations.
Yeah,
and, kids being kids, it is what it is. And plus... there's going to be that peer pressure that he's going to put on himself. Like if everybody else is eating that pizza with extra cheese and he's over there, eating his chips and salsa,
Yeah.
which tastes great, but it's not pizza, he wants to fit in. That's tough for a kid, whether it's food or anything else.
It's been hard for me as an adult to handle the social implications of being plant-based. I'd say like I said, it's one of the most challenging things that people face. So to handle that as a 2-year-old, 4-year-old, 13-year-old boy, I think that's going to be challenging for sure.
Wow, you're even getting it as an adult, huh? Who's giving you those ribs? Who do I need to talk to?
I think everybody who follows a vegan diet has been taunted before, right?
Yeah.
Oh, just have one bite.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt you.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever get the, but butter's healthy kind of arguments from people? I still get that one.
No, people have stopped. I think we all have nutrition fatigue a little bit. It's a little like politics. And so when you're at dinner parties and things, I think people are just so tired of, running into the same barriers and the fences that we've all built up.
Right.
And that nobody's really willing to change, it seems like, in social situations.
Sure.
Kind of like politics and religion, so...
So I think that I also want to ask you about this because I know that in many households, maybe the mother is 100% vegan, the father is not. I mean, how does one go about shopping for that and determining which diet the child will follow? That's actually got to be a pretty serious conversation that the husband and wife have to have there.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say it requires an immense amount of communication, talking about why the person who is vegan eats the way that they do, and what they want for the child. And also it also requires a fair amount of research between the parties. Mm-hmm. So, whether the diet, because the child can follow a plant-based diet, a vegan diet, and eat really, really unhealthily. So it still needs to be a well-planned vegan diet. So, the person that wants the child to maybe follow a plant-based diet, they really need to know their information and know, where is the child going to get calcium and omega-3s and B12 and that sort of thing. And then the person that doesn't want to eat that way, describe why they don't and whether or not they're open to their child being either 100% plant-based or mostly so. So it's just, and it's so, I feel like I'm giving the politically correct answer, but it is so unique between couples. Some people have absolutely no issue whatsoever. Right.